And I think you have some insights on this. So, probably you feel some shifting in demand regarding the nuclear power, taking into account the parameters of nuclear power. So, low carbon parameters of nuclear power. So, can you provide us with some insights and your feelings on this?
Thank you very much, Igor, for your question. Good morning, everybody, and let me start to talk with our own country. You're right, today nuclear is the biggest source of clean energy in our country. It's more than 20% as to the end of previous year. This year we will see, but I do not believe that it will decrease. And it's very important that our government decided to increase the source of electricity up to 25% on average. Honestly, in European part of Russia, it's now even more. It's above 40% because the majority of our nuclear power plants are located in the European part of country. But the goal is, you're right, to increase the average quantity of nuclear power up to 25% of energy balance in our country. And it's not only due to documents and decisions you mentioned about our net zero goals, about strategy of our economical development. What is also very important, especially here in all this international discussion, that our government in September officially approved so-called Russian national green taxonomy, and our government officially included nuclear energy in this taxonomy. It was a very important step because we see a lot of discussion in different countries include or doesn't include. We see a big battle in Europe, but honestly speaking, from my personal point of view, we see more and more European countries who are strongly pro-nuclear, and this quantity of countries is increasing. Let me remind you that it was start of just a very famous letter of 7 countries, as I remember. Now afterwards it was 10. Yeah. Now Netherlands already joined the same club, and we see now that the countries who are as a minimum neutral to nuclear energy, as a maximum optimistically pro-nuclear, it's a very growing quantity of countries, not only in Europe, but all over the world. If you see the majority of big economies in the world, China, India, Middle East, Southeast Asia, the majority of these countries decided to develop nuclear and develop very strongly, especially China and India, for example. And I think that it's due to 2 facts. One, being here on climate conference, it's very important to mention it, that definitely nuclear, it's a source of energy with the lowest quantity of CO2 emissions in comparison even with renewable sources of energy. But second very important argument is that nuclear, it's very reliable and sustainable source of energy, because very often when we talk about ESG agenda, we are too much concentrated only on climate issues. But ESG, it's not only about climate. ESG, it's about reliable and sustainable development. And if you look, what does it mean, the project of construction of nuclear power plant in each and every country? First of all, it's a very huge impulse for the economical growth, for the national GDP growth of the hosting country. Doesn't matter, is it a technology of this country or it's some export technology. In all cases, the average level of localization starts from 25% or even above, depends on a country. It means a lot of new jobs. It's a lot of development in scientific and educational area. It's a new level of life. It's a new level of health. It's a lot of advantages for the people. And I think where now a lot of governments are looking for a clean and sustainable source of energy, they are very seriously thinking about nuclear, because nuclear fits both purposes, fits both goals. And working all over the world, yes, you are right, we are now constructing nuclear power plants in 9 countries. We have portfolio of our projects in even more quantity of countries, in 12 of them, and we are in permanent talks with different governments from different continents. We see a very strong, not just interest, but demand to develop nuclear. And I believe that it's not just momentum. It's a very stable solution. It's a very stable track of development, and I believe that we will see more and more countries involved to the nuclear development all over the world.